Chuck, thank you. Well, as Governor Murphy is treading lightly on his roadmap to recovery, protesters in Trenton want him to pick up the pace and open the state right now. Many of these protesters didn't follow social distancing guidelines you see there, as they were demanding that the governor's stay-at-home order disappear. News 4's Chris Glorioso is in Trenton, where protesters gathered right next to the Capitol building.
As the governor gave his daily briefing inside, the protesters gathered outside the state capitol. They are demanding he reopen the economy, and many of them not practicing social distancing, insisting they don't have to if they don't feel sick.
Open New Jersey now!
Ayla Wolf came to the protest defiant, not wearing a face covering and insisting she doesn't need to, despite public health data that says COVID can transmit from asymptomatic people in crowds like this one.
Sick people need to be quarantined. The medically fragile need to be quarantined. Never in the history of this country have we quarantined the healthy.
Despite the ban on public gatherings, these protesters said it's their constitutional right to congregate at the State House. Many of them criticizing the governor's stay-at-home order, not just because it deprives people of paychecks, but because it could slow the development of herd immunity.
I understand there's people dying. I think they're dying with it, not from it. And I just think there's got to be an immunity developed with the community, because if you're keeping everybody closed inside, it's not going to happen.
Governor Murphy said he respects the right to protest, but he suggested crowds like this are foolish.
I really wish they would do it at home, because just driving over here, I could see that they're congregating, and that's the last thing we need right now.
While Murphy was the target of most protesters, some suggested public health data has been warped for political reasons. Others blaming the media for reporting it. Little Ferry's Jerry Landelin said she came here as a Trump supporter, and she ridiculed me for wearing a mask and trying to physically distance as I interviewed protesters in the crowd.
You don't need to wear a mask outside. You look like an idiot.
A spokesperson for the state police said although no violations were issued today and there was no dispersing of the crowd, the commander on scene did try to stress to event organizers the importance of physical distancing. Reporting from Trenton, Chris Glorioso, News 4, New York.